Hey guys, welcome back to Life TV's kitchen. We've got recipe number 2 for the winter warmers. Today we're cooking beef minestrone in our wonderful slow cooker. Nice and easy. It takes about 25 to 30 minutes in prep, and then you just cook it for 3 hours. So what we've got here is we've got some chuck steak. This is just a cheap cut. It's something that can actually soften when it's cooked over a long period of time. So it's perfect for slow cooking. All you need to do is, we're just going to chop it up into fairly decent chunks, but not too big because you don't want them to be more than a mouthful. With chuck steak, because it is a cheaper cut of the beef, there's going to be a little bit of gristle, there's going to be a bit of chewy bits that you don't necessarily want to have in your stew. So all you have to do is when you're cutting it up, just cut it out completely, and that way you'll have still a bit of fat, but not too much of the chewy gristle on there, so it'll make it for a nice rich meat rather than having to worry about chewing your way through your minestrone. With any slow cooked meal, what we need to do when you're using meat is to kind of thicken the gravy or thicken the sauce. Always coat the meat in a bit of flour. Make sure that there is no meat that is untouched. So as soon as you've started chopping up your meat, just so you can save room on your bench or on your chopping board, just chuck all of that in there. And then later on, we'll just mix it with our hands, make sure that it's all fully coated before chucking it into our slow cooker. So we're just going to make sure that all these pieces of beef are fully coated in the flour. Once these pieces are fully coated like these, you can just chuck them straight into the slow cooker. Typically, minestrone is all about the beef and a wide range of vegetables. So today what we're going to be using for a little bit of colour, a little bit of flavour and a little bit of texture, we're going to be using some carrots. I've got 3 medium, celery, we've got 4 zucchinis, a lovely brown onion, some fresh green beans, and of course some garlic. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump straight into chopping up the carrots. We're going to keep the skin on. The reason being, a lot of the vegetable's nutrients is actually in the skin. Once these carrots are all chopped up, you can chuck them straight into the slow cooker with the beef. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the celery. Straight up, you don't need the leaves, you don't need the head of the celery, so just chop them straight off. You also don't want the white ends. They're not that tasty. Once this is all chopped, just chuck it straight into the crock pot with the carrots and the beef. Alright, beautiful. So now we're going to move on to our wonderful zucchinis. These are beautifully soft flesh in the middle and they're really nice and cooked well. All you need to do is get rid of these light green heads on the zucchini. We don't want those, they're not good for cooking. Once you're happy with the zucchini and it's all cut up, just chuck it straight into the crock pot. Next we're going to move on to the green beans. We're just going to chop these beans in half because they are a little bit long. It just makes it easier to eat. Once these beans are all chopped, just chuck them straight into the slow cooker. Alright, so we're just going to chop up the garlic and mix that through all the veggies and beef. Press the flat of the knife onto the garlic, using the palm of your hand. Beat the garlic. Slice it as fine as you can, doesn't need to be that neat though. Holding onto the tip of the knife, making sure you don't put your fingers next to the blade itself, and just lift the handle as quick as you can. Just going to move on to our brown onion. Cheeky tip, if you don't want to release too much of the acids that makes your eyes water, leave one end with the skin on. Now that the onion's all chopped, we're just going to add it to the crock pot. We're going to stir all the veggies, stir the beef together before adding our stock and our pasta. As you can see, there are some beautiful colours of green, little pockets of orange from the carrot, and then you've got the beef that's already slightly browning as the slow cooker was on low. Alright, so now that we've got all of our veggies and our beef put into the crock pot, we're going to add our stock. At the moment, I've got 2 cups of beef stock in here. Once you add it, it's one of these things that you can always add more. But after we add the stock, I'm also going to be adding some diced tomatoes. see, there isn't that much liquid. We haven't even added the pasta yet. This is gonna be a really big, delicious minestrone. So I'm going to add the pasta, but then I'm going to add some more beef stock just to make sure that there's enough liquid in the dish. Minestrone is typically with small or short pasta. I love the shells. It has that little bit of a rustic feel. So I'm just gonna add some cracked pepper and some sea salt. Once you've done that, just stir it all through. So as you can see, it's beautiful, rich colors. It's a typical Italian red tomatoes mixed with the carrots and the veggies and the beef. We're just going to put this on high for 30 minutes before putting it back to low for another 2.5 hours. If you do see it reducing too much, if the sauce or the liquid is evaporating too quickly, just add some more beef stock and you're good to go. So the minestrone has actually been cooking for 4 hours. We put it on for a little bit extra because we needed to add a little bit more beef stock, but it smells absolutely amazing. You can see some beautiful colors. See how thick the sauce is. This is all brilliant, and it's exactly what we want. We've got loads of nutrients and stuff with the veggies because that was all locked in. Remember, we didn't take off the skin. 30 minutes to prepare, 4 hours to cook. You could have gone out, done the shopping, come back, and you would have had a beautiful meal just to serve yourself up. Beautiful thing about a slow cooked meal in this kind of form is if you're busy, you live that lifestyle that you've got to go all the time. All you have to do, if you cook this big, massive pot here, it's 6 litres, you can serve up some plastic containers, take it away, put it in the freezer, and then grab it as you go. So we're going to dish up some containers and freeze it, so there is absolutely no waste. Beef minestrone is loved by kids, it's loved by families, it's great to have on the go, perfect for the cold winter nights, and it's great when you can freeze it, keep it for about a month, and then you've got meals for the week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Look forward to seeing you soon.